Lots of you, I know, have been watching the Netflix drama Adolescence. I've seen 3 of the 4 parts at the moment. It really is superb, and Stephen Graham is rightly taking so many plaudits for his role as the father in that. But the programme is, one of the aspects it raises awareness of is the dangers to our kids of social media. And now a series of events highlighting the impact that smartphones can have on children is set to take place across Warwickshire, starting tonight in Stratford-upon-Avon. The smartphone-free childhood pledge has seen parents from 147 schools in Warwickshire alone sign an agreement to delay giving their child a smartphone until the end of at least school year 9. So, in other words, 14 years of age. We've been asking our students at our star school this week, Rugby Free Secondary, what they make of that idea.
In year 9, you really need to use it to study and to connect with other people your own age. But as a child, you just need to be in the real world and go outside. I think I would have managed. I think there is that fear of missing out. But really, you'd be grateful for it when you're older and you think about the great memories you had as a child.
What about the sixth formers? Looking back, do you think you could have managed without a phone until year 9?
I mean, if I knew no different, probably, but with my mindset now, definitely not, no. I just can't go a day without my phone.
I've had my phone since I was like 8, 9 years old, so I definitely could not. And now, even now, I feel like, yeah, people say youngsters nowadays, they're always on their phone, but there's such a broad amount of things you could do. You could do some quick revision, entertainment, talk to your friends, so I could not manage, to be honest.
I think in our generation, we're just so used to having phones, you know, when you wake up, it's the first thing you do.
So that's the thoughts of our star schoolers this week, and we'll hear a bit more from Rugby Free after 8 o'clock this morning on BBC CWR. Listening to that is Charlotte Aston. Now, Charlotte is the Warwickshire lead of Smartphone Free Childhood and is a mum for 2 in her own right. Good to see you, Charlotte. Thanks
Good morning.
This morning. First event tonight.
Yeah.
Clearly, with 147 schools, there's been quite a reaction to this.
Oh, absolutely. And I think there's been, it really kicked off for us in Warwickshire back in November when the Swiped documentary went out on Channel 4, which I think just showed parents what smartphones are doing to our children and how many of them have become really quite very dependent, if not addicted to them. But we're saying we can change this as parents and teachers if we come together and we collectively agree to say we won't give our children a smartphone until at least the end of year 9. We won't give them social media until at least 16. And we're supporting and encouraging secondary schools particularly to remove them from the school day so that kids get a break from having the distraction of a supercomputer in their pockets.
Right, okay. Just listening to some of the kids there, you might have heard their responses. And there is a thought that actually is an outright ban the way to go on this, because some of them there say, look, we do a lot of our homework, our assignments on our smartphones. Yes, by all means, limit the time they get on the smartphone. Cut back on, maybe they do an hour a day when they get home, take it off them in the evening. But it is an outright, they don't get one, full stop. Is that really a solution to this?
Yeah. I mean, we're not anti-tech, right? That those apps that they're using, they're clearly very useful and they can access them through a device, a tablet, a shared device that we can filter and monitor, that connects to the internet through Wi-Fi that we can control. The problem with a smartphone is that they've got high-speed mobile data connection, which we can't control, and it's in their pockets 24/7. So we're not saying no to tech at all. Like that's a helpful tool that can be useful for schools, but they don't need everything that comes with a smartphone, which ultimately gives the internet access to them.
There'll be, I'm sure you've got loads of stories from parents about this. What kind of experiences, views have you been getting back since you launched this?
So it's different depending on the age of the kids, obviously. For those parents whose children have already got them, so they're at secondary level, we know that by year 7, kind of the vast majority of children have one. They're really battling, to be honest, at home. It's a nightmare. And I think it's been they found a lot of support and comfort in our groups. Most schools now, a lot of schools have a smartphone-free childhood WhatsApp group. So those parents are coming together and talking about how they can control their children's smartphone use. At primary level, it's really positive, actually, because there's so many of us saying, we haven't given our kids a smartphone yet. Let's collectively agree not to. And then it's an easy conversation to have, right? So my daughter's in year 6. through Smartphone Free Childhood, I've managed to find 4 other mums with daughters who are starting at her secondary school. And we've said together, right, we're not going to give them a smartphone, just a brick phone will do. And that makes that conversation much easier.
Obviously, in Australia, they've gone a step further. There's an outright ban for anybody under the age of 16 when it comes to smartphones. Do you think our government should do more and intervene in the same way they've done in Australia?
I do, to be honest, yes. You know, we legislate to protect our children in the physical world from all sorts of harms, from activities that are fine for adults but not safe for children, like driving a car and having sex. You know, we protect them from addictive substances. We know that this technology is designed to be addictive. It's chemically triggering, you know, the release of happy chemicals in our brains. That's why it's so difficult to put down for us adults, let alone children. So, yeah, I think we owe it to our children to protect them in the digital world in the same way that we do in real life.
Charlotte Ashton, Warwickshire lead for Smartphone Free Childhood. Thanks very much indeed for coming in this morning. First event, like I say, takes place at the RSC in Stratford tonight, 7:30. They're at the Courthouse in Warwick on April the 29th and the Kenilworth Centre on May the 6th. After 8 o'clock this morning, we're going to be hearing from Sam Ibbs from Warwickshire. Now, she works as a paediatrician, so she works in a children's hospital, but she's also a mum. She's been explaining just how damaging smartphones are for children's brains.
Very damaging, beyond what we've ever imagined, really. Studies have shown that children using excessive amount of smartphone use are having changes in their white matter quality, which then affects their ability to focus, their ability to learn and solve problems. We can see that it changes some of the neurotransmitters. So these are the messengers in the brain, again, that helps the brain function. And that people using really high amounts of smartphone use have higher levels. And that's linked with depression, anxiety, inability to sort of moderate our impulses and our behaviours.